Let's get into this story here, this Rolling Stone expose. So you guys know there are allegations against Sean Diddy Combs. We've covered them before on the show, and I've given you updates along the way. Yesterday, Rolling Stone dropped an expose about Diddy, but this isn't just about the allegations. This expose is about what happened to Biggie Smalls before he died. Let's go ahead and get into this bombshell that has a lot of people talking online. Rolling Stone, Notorious B.I.G.'s mom. I want to slap the daylights out of Sean Combs. Let's get into this. Rolling Stone has been investigating Sean actually for a long time. This goes back to his Howard University days. So we're going to get into all of that. Actually make this a little bit bigger. I like for people to be able to read along with me. All right. Following Rolling Stone's 6-month investigation into alleged violent abuse by Diddy, Biggie's mother, Voletta Wallace, tells Rolling Stone that she hopes the disgraced bad boy mogul apologizes to Cassie and his mother, and that she wants to slap the daylights out of him. It's been a steady stream of harrowing allegations against Combs since his former girlfriend, Cassie, filed a trafficking lawsuit against the Bad Boy founder in November. Let's jump ahead here. This is Biggie's mother. I am sick to my stomach, Wallace says about multiple allegations of violence and abuse against Combs. I am praying for Cassie. I'm praying for his mother. I don't want to believe the things that I've heard, but I've seen the hotel video. I pray that he apologizes to her. I hope that I see Sean one day, and the only thing I want to do is slap the daylights out of him. And you can quote me on that because I liked him. I didn't want to believe all the awful things, but I'm so ashamed and so embarrassed. So that is coming from, again, Biggie's mom. So she has some things to say about this. Now, this is the part that is pretty interesting as well. I just want to highlight this part, and then we're going to fast forward to the Biggie situation. Rolling Stone investigation into Combs documented a pattern of alleged abuse dating back to Combs' time at Howard University in the late 1980s. So I'm going to show you just a little bit about that after this article, because I think a lot of people may not be aware of that, but the reason why I'm showing that is that it shows you that this isn't something that allegedly started when Diddy became a producer or a music mogul. This was a pattern of behavior that goes all the way back to Howard University, right? So they actually started documenting him back then. It goes on to say early Bad Boy staffers, associates, and industry sources also recalled how Biggie viewed his label boss as a corny executive and was on the verge of leaving Bad Boy. Let me highlight this here. The verge of leaving Bad Boy before his murder in 1997. So let's go back and think about this for a second. Would Biggie have been the first person to leave Diddy? No, there have been a number of artists that were under the Bad Boy label that just seemed to just disappear or fade away. Whatever happened to Danity Kane? Well, we'll get to the Making the Band people a little bit later. Let's start a little earlier. What happened to Craig Mack? What happened to Total? What happened to all these talented musicians that were a part of Bad Boy? It's like all of them had great, first albums, and then it's like they just kind of disappeared. Is what happened to these people? Fast forward to Making the Band. What happened to Dylon? What happened to Danity Kane? I thought if anyone should have made it, it was them. Very talented group of women. Why are all these people leaving him? What happened to Day 26? Also, again, talented group of individuals. Where are they? Where'd all these people go? So these are questions that we have to ask, and it's something I've noticed for quite some time. Diddy would produce artists. The first album would be great. And then it's like, you don't hear from them anymore. Where are these people? Yes. Thank you, Hadiyah. What the hell happened to 112? Where is everybody? And why does everyone leave him? So this expose from Rolling Stone is reporting that Biggie actually planned on leaving Bad Boy before he died. Now let's go a little bit further. This is something I complained about when it happened. Combs capitalized on the shock and sorrow over his star artist's death. Sources say, pushing his team to ensure Biggie's upcoming album, Life After Death, would top the charts, and allegedly dismissing discussions to put Biggie on the cover of Rolling Stone. So let's think back for those of us that were around in the late 90s. I know some of you were there. Remember the No Way Out album? That album blew up after Biggie died. You can't forget about these things. Diddy made a song. It was a sample from the Police song, Every Breath You Take. He sampled that song and changed it to as a tribute to Biggie, right? So he said it was called I'll Be Missing You. That song shot up the charts. And I said this back then, and people said, how could you think that way? Because that's just the way I think sometimes. I said this back then. Does anyone think it's a little bit strange or not fair that Diddy is actually capitalizing off of Biggie's death? That he's making money off of this? I said it back then, and my friends were like, why would you think that, Sabrina? That's just how I think sometimes. Because to me, if you're doing a tribute to your friend, right? Why do you need to make money off of it? So I thought about those things. What's that, Richie? Richie said, we said same at the time, Sabby. Yeah, I just didn't understand it. I thought it was weird. You don't need to make money off of your friend who died. It's just a little bit odd to me. Okay. But that No Way Out album, it blew up after Biggie died. That's a fact. Okay. So you could quote me on that. We go a little bit further here into this article. Kirk Burroughs, Bad Boy's co-founding partner and president, told Rolling Stone that he advocated for the late rapper to get the cover. That's the cover, Rolling Stone. I was telling Sean, let's make it Biggie. You still have a chance for a cover in the future. Burroughs recalled. He's like, no, he's dead. I'm putting out Combs' debut album, No Way Out, in July. I need to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. Valletta Wallace declined to comment on the antidote. So let me just jump in and say something like this. Okay, so according to Rolling Stone, Diddy did not want Biggie on the cover of Rolling Stone. And didn't you guys always think it was weird? And I said this, it was always weird to me. Biggie is the rapper. He's singing, One More Chance. I love it when you call me Big Papa. And then it was like, this little skinny dude was always up in the damn video. And it used to aggravate me. I'm like, why are you there? How many artists have their producer in all the videos dancing up in the camera? Why did he have to be there? He did not have to be there. He wanted the attention. And I said that back then, and I still feel that way. I never changed my mind about that. I just thought it was really strange to me that you would try to make money off of your friend's death. Now there's a little bit more. So now you know that Biggie was planning on leaving Bad Boy before he was killed. So a lot of people were talking about that. We are going to go back to the allegations. I want you to see this as well, because we're talking about a pattern of behavior. Now, see, The Howard University incident. Diddy allegedly assaulted his girlfriend in front of other students during his time at Howard University. So this behavior has been happening for quite some time during his time at Howard University. Okay. So how many of you knew he was at Howard, right? So let's go on a little bit more here. There's just one little part here I want to show you what happened at Howard. In the extensive report from Cheyenne Roundtree and Nancy Dilling for Rolling Stone, several people were familiar with Diddy during his time studying at Howard University have alleged he assaulted his girlfriend at the time and terrorized other students. Let's get to the girlfriend. A former student at the school said that whenever Diddy showed up to their English class to convince his girlfriend to skip class, she would tense up when he appeared. He just had a weird control thing. I feel like she was fearful. During another incident, she noticed Diddy belligerently screaming outside of Harriet Tubman Quadrangle dorm for his girlfriend to come join him outside. When this happened, other women knocked on doors in the halls to let everyone know Diddy was allegedly assaulting his then girlfriend outside. So this is going back to college days. So this behavior, these allegations against him, this is not new. It goes on to say here, let me pull this back up. Puff is out here acting crazy. He's beating her. The classmate recalled the students telling residents of the halls. He screamed and hollered and acted a stone fool until she came downstairs, said another student who witnessed the incident in which Diddy allegedly struck the woman with a belt. She described him as super angry and screaming at the top of his lungs. Goes on to say the victim declined to comment on the attack. A pattern of behavior. And then there's something else I want to show you. When we talk about some things that may have happened in the past, let's go ahead and bring in this clip here.
Now, Diddy was born with a short fuse, telling Jet magazine he earned his nickname as a kid because he would always huff and puff. When he got mad, I had a temper. That's why my friends started calling me Puffy, he said. His mom, Janice, a former kindergarten teacher, described him as a ham. Now, Diddy barely knew his father, Melvin, a street-level dealer working for a Harlem kingpin. He was actually killed in 1972 at the age of 33 when Diddy was just a toddler. Throughout the years, Diddy mourned the loss of a father figure, but Melvin had a profound influence on him nonetheless. Even if you don't know our parents, we still have their DNA in us. We have their genes, Diddy said. I have his hustler's mentality, his hustler's spirit, his drive, his determination, and his swag. When Janice moved the family from Harlem to the suburb of Mount Vernon, 12 miles north, Diddy straddled disparate worlds. In one, he was a defensive back on the football team at his all-boys Catholic high school. In the other, he rode a train to the city, immersing himself in its burgeoning hip-hop scene. I didn't know exactly what he would do, but he was blasting me out of the house with his mixing kit I bought him when he was 13, making that noise and scratching the records, Janice told Vibe in 1993. Now, as Diddy's star was uprising at Uptown, his predatory instincts resurfaced, according to the actual lawsuit filed by Joy Dickerson Neal last November.
Wait for this. Wait till you see who appears here.
Dickerson Neal acted opposite Combs in a 1990 music video and received what she considered a warning from Bronx rapper Sister Souljah.
Look who gave the warning. From Sister Souljah. Now, some of you may remember her. Some of you may be a little too young to know who she is. But Sister Souljah was always very vocal, whether it was about social justice, whether it was about equality, equity, etc. She was not known to hold her tongue. There's actually a pretty viral video of Sister Souljah and Dr. West when they were on the Phil Donahue show. Google that and watch the clip and listen to the way that Sister Souljah spoke and the things that she was talking about in reference to the Black community. So Google that and watch that Phil Donahue clip. I can't show it on here because it's copyright, but I can tell you guys to Google it and check it out. So the warning came from her
to keep her distance, given his infamous reputation. Sister Soldier also did not reply to a request for comment. Multiple reports alleged Biggie had been preparing to leave Bad Boy shortly before his death. It didn't help that Diddy had been fighting with Big's attorneys who were trying to get back the rapper's publishing rights. Diddy said, "I will never give it up until I'm dead and my bones are crushed into powder."
Now we're talking about publishing rights. So this goes deeper, you guys. This isn't just, I don't want Biggie to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. We're talking about publishing rights, which of course, there's a lot of money that goes along with that. And to be honest with you, not a lot of, from what I've read, I don't think a lot of musicians have their own publishing rights. You know, it's one of those traps of the record companies. So this is a big deal.
Biggie was absolutely about to leave Puff, Bun said. "I know for a fact because he told me that." Another source adds, "Everybody wanted to leave Puffy. Everybody leaves him." Now, when Rolling Stones approached Bad Boy about a cover opportunity a few months after Biggie's murder.
Okay, then it gets into the Rolling Stone cover. So to what he said, again, everybody leaves Biggie. Ask yourselves, folks, what happened to all of these artists? Where the hell is 112? Where the hell? What happened to Danity Kane? What happened to Total? What happened to all these people, talented musicians that were a part of Bad Boy? Why did all of them walk away from who? There's more. Because now it appears a male escort. Where is that one? Did I miss that one? Oh, here it is. The male escort. Now it appears a male escort is coming forward about Diddy. When I told you guys that Diddy was done, Diddy was done. They are now looking for a federal grand jury may soon hear from him. A federal grand jury. There have been accusations from people that say that Diddy was a Fed, Diddy was an op. I don't know. I don't have any concrete proof of that. So I'm not here to tell you that that did happen. You do with that what you may. But I am here to tell you that all these people are coming forward now. Listen to this. This was from CNN earlier.
Now to a CNN exclusive. The Department of Justice may be taking steps to indict music mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
Two sources close to the investigation tell us that a federal grand jury may soon hear from Diddy's accusers. Since November, Combs has been named in 8 civil lawsuits, 7 of them directly accusing him of sexual assault. CNN entertainment correspondent Elizabeth Wagmeister is here with more on her exclusive reporting. Elizabeth, tell us what you're learning.
We have learned from 2 sources that potential witnesses have been contacted and notified by federal investigators that they may be called to testify in front of a grand jury. Now, there is no timeline for when this may happen. We are hearing from sources that the investigation is very much still underway. We remember back in late March when 2 of Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami were raided. That was the start of this criminal investigation. And now, with our reporting that this could go to the grand jury, this is absolutely the biggest escalation in this investigation and gives some indication that authorities are looking towards a possible indictment. Now, as you mentioned, there have been a slew of lawsuits against the music mogul. He faces 8, 7 of which are directly accusing him of sexual assault. I hear from a source that many of these accusers who have filed these civil suits have been brought in for questioning.
Everybody hear that? So they've already brought some of the accusers in for questioning, and they already have obtained footage from inside the home.
some of them being called in numerous times. We hear that many of these potential witnesses have been cooperating with these investigators, some even offering up evidence that they believe could be of note for this investigation.
Elizabeth, the majority of the plaintiffs in the civil suits, they've now been interviewed by federal investigators in the criminal probe. We know the LAPD previously said that they couldn't bring charges based on that 2016 Cassie video because of the statute of limitations. What could federal investigators be looking at here?
That's absolutely right. Because of the statute of limitations, that provides really a blockade for many of these accusers. But we do know that this federal investigation, which to your point, Boris, is of criminal nature, is largely based on the accusations that are in these many mounting lawsuits. So this is a criminal investigation at this point. Of course, we remember that when Diddy's homes were raided, that his attorneys called it a gross overuse of military force. They called it a witch hunt. We know that Diddy has denied many of these allegations that have come against him, although he hasn't responded to all of them. So at this point, it is an investigation. We have to wait to see where this may go. But again, this is a large escalation now that we know that potential witnesses have been notified that they do want to bring them to testify in front of a federal grand jury in New York City. So much more to come. But also, another thing that we have to watch out for, Boris, as these current cases are being litigated, are more accusers going to come forward? There has been a constant domino effect since November when that first lawsuit from Cassie came out. And now, could there be more?
Yeah.
That's right. They'll come forward as long as they know that they are going to be protected. So it's not easy to come forward, right? Especially against someone who is wealthy, someone who has a lot of money and some power. So it's not always easy for people to do that. But this does not look good. I'm just being honest here. It does not look good at all. He said those allegations were false. Then the video comes out of him beating Cassie. So then he made the apology video. But remember, according to him, those allegations were false. So, and it's not just about the assault allegations. This is also about potential money laundering and trafficking. All of these things connected. So if I were J-Lo or Ashton Kutcher, any of the people that were very close to Diddy, I don't know. You might want to start planning something because it just does not look good. It does not look good at all. And it makes you wonder, the Biggie thing and the artists always leaving him. And some of you brought up some other ones in the chat that I didn't mention. JB said that Little Kim, I forgot about her. That's right. Little Kim was another one. Junior Mafia was another. Where did all these people go? Right? I don't know if Little Kim would speak out or not, but TMB's right. 2024, everybody going to jail. Very interesting, folks. Very interesting. I don't know what to say, but it was always questionable to me. It was always questionable. And then we have to ask ourselves about the enablers. The Howard University incident. This happened at a college campus. There was no punishment. Where was the university on this? Why were all these people sitting around and letting him? This was in front of other people. So allegedly beating women in front of other people and nobody said anything or did anything. But the Howard University incident that is alleged, that's the one that really gives me pause because that is a college campus where nobody did anything. Interesting times, folks. Interesting times. Thank you so much for the super sticker, Cognite. Troy says Danity Kane was fire. I thought they were really good. I liked Danity Kane. Like all these people, I don't know. Robbie says, Sharon, everybody knew about Diddy's crime since 1990, but he was never, ever arrested. And there you go. Why was he allowed to get away with all these things? And that's why some people will say, well, he's one of them. He's a Fed, he's an op or whatever. Like, how do you continue to get away with all these things? I don't know. But having money helps. Thank you, Cougar. I went to Howard University with Diddy. Saw him on the Amtrak once skipping the fare. Wendy Williams tried to tell us Diddy tried to ruin her. Remember? Oh, I forgot about that. That's a good point. Terry says Mayor Adams is considering taking the key of New York back. I bet. Thank you, Keith. 112 is doing a free concert on Father's Day in the Bayview in San Francisco, California. Well, that's where 112 is. Thanks for that. And letting people know, for those of you in the Bay. All right, I'll take the comment on Rockfin, Eric. Thank you for the tip, JVB. Late to the show, but thanks for having Danny on. He's smart and informed. Thank you, JVB. Thank you. Okay. Some of the comments are funny. Thank you, Tim. Cassie was beat in front of an entire room of people at Diddy's board meeting, confirmed by people in the room. They were silent. You know, the bystanders, that's the thing that gets me too. Like, how do you just sit there and do nothing? Unless you're okay with it. Or unless you're doing the same thing too.